of arrays, array lists, and 2D arrays. Understanding these concepts will be key in having success in the course. So let's get started. First, let's talk about arrays. In the APCSA curriculum, you will see a lot of array problems. An array is a data structure that allows us to store multiple values of the same type. Think of it like having a container that can hold several elements. Arrays are especially useful when we know the number of elements we want to store in advance, because once you set the size, you can't later down the line increase or decrease the size. So in an array, this has 5 slots, if you will. So it's like a length of 5. Starts from 0 and ends at 4. So you could put like a number here, a number here, a number here, a number here, or it could be like a string, a string, a string, a string, a string. It could be a boolean. It could be a lot of things. So here's an example of how to make an array. So let's just call make this the array section. So let's make our array name, right? So first we say int, or basically we start by specifying the data type, which is then going to be followed by square brackets, and then we'll say the name. Let's just say numbers. And I'll say equals new. The new keyword is used to allocate memory for the array with the specific size. So now we'll say new int, let's go with 5. So now we can add elements. So we'll say numbers of 0 is how I like to think of it. Gets 4. Basically saying, I'll copy paste this, but I'll explain as I go along. But basically what we're saying is the value in the slot number 0 gets the value 4, and so the value in the slot number 1 gets an 8 in the location. In the slot number 2 gets a 15. Slot number 3 gets a 16. Let's just say 23. I don't know, random stuff. So now, how do we traverse this and how do we print it? So we're gonna have like a for loop. You could use a while loop as well, I guess. Int I equals 0. I is less than numbers dot length I plus plus, right? And now we're gonna say system dot out dot print numbers of I. So the value of I goes from 0 all the way through 4. Numbers of I, let's add like a little space here. So now this should print 4, 8, 15, 16, 23 with like a space in between. Boom, that's perfect. So this for loop, it starts from 0 and it continues until the index reaches length of the array. And so during the iteration, we access the element at the current index using numbers of I and then print it. So now, moving on to array lists. Array lists are more dynamic and flexible compared to arrays because you can add or remove elements, meaning add, increase, or decrease the size of the array list. And this is useful when you don't know exactly how many elements you're going to have in your array list. So to use array lists, first you actually have to make an import. Just import java.util.ArrayList semicolon. And so now we'll make our array list section. Let's say array list. This is how we make a new array list. First I'll comment this part out. Array list string, right? Type string. Let's call it, I don't know, words equals new array list string open close parentheses semicolon. So now we can add words, but it's not how we did numbers of 0 gets 4. instead of doing words dot add, say hello. Let's say words dot add car, words dot add laptop, words dot add, I don't know, cheese, words dot add desk. So now that we've added the words, like I said before, you can also remove something. So I could say words dot remove, let's say the second second element, or element at the second position. So 0, 1, 2. So when I print it, we should see hello, car, cheese, desk, because laptop isn't going to be removed. That's the goal. So hopefully we get that. So we're going to start with another for loop. Int I equals 0. I is less than words dot, instead of length, as it's for arrays, it's actually size for array lists. And then I plus plus. Enable is to system dot out dot print words dot get I. So another thing, instead of using this, we're just gonna get the value. Literally, like I would say the word get for array. That's literally the correct syntax for array lists. Get I, and then we'll add the space. So now we should get hello space, car space, cheese space, desk. Boom, perfect. Exactly what we wanted. So now let's explore 2D arrays for a bit. So 2D arrays allow us to store data and change data in like a grid-like structure as seen over here. So they're useful especially in games or just whenever you're working with multidimensional data. So similar to an array, we have something think of, we have an array here in a way of value 0, 1, 2, 3, but it's like a stack of arrays. So we could, put maybe a bunch of numbers here, strings similar to arrays. So how do you make a array in a 2D array, in Java? Let's do this. So first, I'm gonna say, let's go back to int. I guess we could do double. We can do double. We'll say double, and I'll do two empty brackets, because that's how we signify it's a 2D array. Let's just say grid equals new double, just say 3, 3. And so then I'll just randomly spawn in items as I'll talk right now. This one. So to traverse a 2D array, we can use nested for loops, right? Which I'll get to in a second. But right now, 0, 0 is the topmost. Actually, you know what? To make this a little quicker, I'll just go 2 and 2. 1, I'll go here, and since that's it, and so now I'll say grid 1, 0 equals 10.3, and grid 1, 1 equals negative 7.3. Let's go with 0.2. So now to traverse a 2D array, like I was saying before, we can use nested for loops, one for the rows and one for the columns. So here's an example of how you would do that. So let's just say for int row, right? Or R, you could use R as well. 0, row is less than grid dot length, row plus plus, and inside of that, because it's like I said, nested for loop, inside of that for loop we can have another for loop, which is int call for column equals 0. Column is less than grid of 0 dot length, call plus plus. And so now we'll say system dot out dot print the value of grid at row column, and then let's just say after we finish a row, or yeah, after we finish one row, because right now we're going by rows by doing this, then I'll make like I'll go like that. So we'll make like a little line to separate it. So now we should see oh, whoops, I need ln. Oh, it actually should add spaces to make it easier to read. But like you saw, we got 1.0, 1.4, now next row, 10.3, -7.2, like this. And that's it. So we explored arrays, array lists, and 2D arrays. And so mastering these three, along with the ability to traverse them and change the values of these, will enhance your ability to tackle, coding challenges and set you up for success in the AP exam. Hopefully this video was helpful in giving you a general overview of these three big topics. Thank you for watching.